everybody. It's very late. It's almost 1 o'clock. Sorry. Can't be helped. Can't be helped. This is what's going on. It is just absolutely wild. Um it's going turbo. The ongoing investigations are going turbo. That's all I can say. And we're receiving so much information at this time that it just takes a long time to go through it because, we're not the CID. We're not the provost marshal. We're not the FBI. We're, just the Gold Star family of Richard Halliday, the hero, the absolute hero, whistleblower soldier on Fort Bliss who couldn't be compromised. He just couldn't be compromised, even though the soldiers, and I hope everyone knows this, that our service members, not just our army, but they are targeted. They are targeted by their leadership. And this is what President Trump is really up against with Secretary of Defense Hegseth, that you see that there's so much pushback because he has to clean out these criminals that are wearing our uniforms. And there are absolutely criminals like Donna Martin. Of course, she's retired. They retired pretty quick because um, we, absolutely were collecting so much evidence and they knew it. They knew it. They had access. And so many in this case. And I know military retire, but let me tell you, when you're generals, you hang in there because life is good. We give them everything, don't we? We give them everything. We give them very good pay. We give them very good benefits. We give them beautiful housing. We give them a vacation time. We give them drivers, anything that they want, we give them. And they have absolutely betrayed us. And so you see that with make sure that I'm on, make sure everything's working. Here I am talking away. Okay. Uh, and I know it's really late. I should be, yeah, but it can't be helped. This has to be done. We had 44 four-star generals. We were absolutely bloated with generals because they get everything. So let's just add another one, another one. Come on, let's have a favor. Let's have a favor and add another general. And then they are more concerned about their contracts and profiting off of war, off of their inside knowledge, their access as the generals, and and not winning any war, right? Not winning any war. That's why you saw, I think, the best example of what I'm talking about is the Afghanistan withdrawal. The Afghanistan withdrawal was absolutely and obviously uh, total failure, and they did not even bring back our night vision goggles. Our night vision goggles, which is an amazing technology, and they left it there. They left them there, and the Afghanistan army didn't have that technology, and now they do. And now they do. They got all of those night vision goggles. And why can't you put that on a plane, right? Why can't you bring that home? Why can't you bring all the equipment home? I've been on these big planes. They can fit a lot. I mean, they're huge. They are huge, and I've been on them several times as Space A, riding. You have to climb a ladder to get up there. Um, and they have no excuse except for that they were not in possession anymore of all of our equipment, including helicopters and Humvees and um, all kinds of stuff, right? The night vision goggles. They weren't in possession of them and control of them anymore. So what does that mean? Did they sell it? Did they sell it to them? And pocket the money? All we know is that they couldn't bring our stuff home that we paid for, right? We paid every bit of it along the way. $37 trillion in debt. You can't wonder why. It's right there in front of our face. All the fraud, waste, and abuse and theft. The theft. And that was a really, really good example of what's been going on with the all of the criminal trafficking, from our equipment to our weapons, a lot of ammunition, and our um, soldiers are targets. They are absolute, and I should say service members. Our service members are targets. They compromise our service members. That's why, and I'm very, very in touch with the military. I'm very, very in touch with the military. I've been part of the military. I was born into it. I was born on White Sands Missile Range. White Sands Missile Range. I went to school in El Paso. I swam in the replica, the 50-meter pool. Was it 50 yards, 50-meter pool, the Olympic-sized swimming pool. I swam there. My coach was CJ. Colonel Johnson was my coach. I went to school there. I went to Bassett. I went to MacArthur. I went to Fort Bliss Elementary kindergarten. I was confirmed. I was confirmed right there in the old replica chapel where we had our services. So, I understand that area. I understand the military and our soldiers, our service members have been targeted. They have allowed the barracks to become cesspools of temptation. And, it's so hard to use that kind of word because people might shut their ears off. But I'm telling you that they targeted our service members with all kinds of nonsense, not for their pleasure. That wasn't their goal. Oh, let's make our soldiers happy. Let's make them mentally happy, so they'll be better soldiers. That was not their intention, okay? Their intention was let's screw over our soldiers, right? Let's compromise them. Let's bring in young girls, underage girls, and film it. And if they ever get a notion that they better serve the country and start whistleblowing, then we'll pull out the videos, right? We'll pull out the videos. Let's make them so high. Let's make them so drunk. Let's make them so sick. Let's make them absolutely not fit to become whistleblowers. Let's compromise them. And absolutely, y'all, they were so shaky. They were so shaky. And when I talk to people from all over the world, even about the condition our service members are in, and I know we're told, oh, they're strong, they're wonderful, they're this, because, of course, the administration has to, you know, um, uh, uh, be a leader, right? A leader to instill the um, esprit de corps, to instill the esprit de corps, so that our soldiers, our service members, um, will will be proud of their country and want to fight for their country and want to protect and defend the Constitution of the United States, the land, and the people. It's not a piece of paper, it's the land and the people. That's what the Constitution is. It's our rights, right? It's our rights to pursue property and happiness and, um, to not be controlled by Washington, D.C. That's what that means. And so, it really is the truth, though, and I have to bring you the truth because uh, we need to not be bystanders. We need to know what is at stake right now. We need to absolutely support what Secretary of Defense Hegseth is doing right now because we have and had the likes of Donna Martin as the provost marshal in charge of the MPs, right? In charge of the CID, in charge of all this law enforcement. Her violations in this case are so egregious. They are so egregious, and they're treasonous. They are absolute treasonous because she, being in charge of the MPs and the CID and allowing these young girls to be brought onto the base for up to no good, allowing our soldiers to be targeted with all kinds of substance abuse, with allowing our soldiers, and I say soldiers because she was army, right? She was army. She was the IG of the army, to allow these whistleblower like Richards to not be investigated, to allow Lieutenant General Sean Bernabe to interfere and obstruct the murder investigation of our son Richard Halliday, the whistleblower, to withhold all of this very, very important information in our son's case. The the amount of damage that she did, and still does, by being silent. And don't forget, she did speak up the day before January 6th. You have this, what is it, Representative Congressman Tillis, or is he a senator, whatever. He's from North Carolina, right? And he was speaking, and I should have checked before I did my live stream, but it's just been crazy. So maybe someone can help me out. But Tillis, was not wanting to vote for one of President Trump's nominations because of January 6th. And he said, everyone that went into the Capitol building, our Capitol building, everyone that went in there should be in prison, should spend some time in prison. I tell you, I want to write him a letter, but we're so busy writing so many letters, and doing the investigation and being our public affairs and everything else. These what he said is also so egregious, and North Carolina is a big deal in this case because North Carolina is really the home of the deep state of the military, the deep state of the mutiny, that was schemed up and everything by our military. It's Mealy, it's Garrett, it's Kelly, it's Bernabe, it's McConville, and Martin. It's North Carolina, right? It's North Carolina where this scheming, really criminal scheming was going on, and maybe still is going on. I can't even imagine what Secretary of Defense Hegseth is up against. But he knows, like I know, and many of us know, especially in this month, right? And I wanted to talk about it. This is the month where we really look at Mary, the Mother of God. We look at Mother Mary, and we look at her Magnificat, and we understand, by repetition of the Magnificat, of the study of the scriptures, what God was trying to tell us. And that is that none of these evildoers, even in their CID provost positions and IG positions, and, wearing stars and everything, none of them are any challenge to God. None of them. God is so big. And, and you see that with Mary, right? Um, she's just a great example of that. And yeah, so this is the month where we really think about that. And I think there's no better time than right now, when there's so much evidence coming in, corroborating all of the evidence, the mountain of evidence that we have. And it's really mountain mounting against the generals. And it's just God's timing. You see that it's just God's timing because Secretary Hegseth has said 20% of the generals are going to be reduced, right? Are going to be reduced, and they need to be. They absolutely were so bloated and they are up to no good. They are up to no good. So we need to get men and women with amazing characters that love our country, that truly want to defend the land and the people, the Constitution of the United States, in those positions, and get those that are traitors, are treasonous, that are serving foreign and domestic enemies. We need to get them out of our uniforms, away from our government. Absolutely no secret clearances, no contracts, no benefits, nothing. They are traitors and they need to be held accountable for what they've done. So, this goes into the video that we just dropped, one of the videos that we have. And there is a comment there that they think it's all staged. I can tell you that from our evidence that we know that people were really, really hurt on August 3rd, 2019. Um, brutally, brutally. It was brutal. And we have maps and, all kinds of information. Um, so the bloody mess is a bloody mess. It's a bloody mess. But who did it along with Patrick Crusius? Because Patrick Crusius was absolutely there, right? Um, because he surrendered twice. Okay, twice. He went in and bought an orange. Um, did he actually do any of the shooting? I don't know because I just can't trust anything at this point. He couldn't fathom, right? We have that audio, but we know that he is part of this group, the Mayella Crucius criminal group. The Mayellas absolutely need to be arrested. Their involvement in all of this with Kyla, Cardona and Bernabe and all of this, and Donna Martin, clearly the cover up has been exposed and it's an obvious cover up, and people really, really, um, 23, 24, 25, so many people have died. And don't forget about all of the people involved, like the chief of police, right? He's no longer here, and now we know that the CBP, Christopher Meissner, is no longer here, and we have, so many others like Glennon Oakley Jr. He's no longer here, and it just goes on and on and on. The damage that has been done, and the little baby doesn't have parents anymore. It's just horrible. It's horrific. And we need to get to the bottom of this. We need to hold those that do these things accountable because, and we've talked to those that know and can point to information, and we have so much information today, and I'm just crying. I know I'm just crying because I'm not allowed to get emotional, but this, if you only saw through my eyes what all the information, you'd be just like saying, "Oh my gosh, it's a miracle that this lady is doing a live stream," um, because it's just incredibly emotional. Um, so we have been absolutely given a lot of information about active shooter cases, comparing it, and I can tell you this: the Walmart case is doesn't even fit into it. Okay, it is just it absolutely screams orchestration, okay, and operation. Um, this is not just some random evil deed, okay? This is an orchestrated evil deed of many people, many people. And that's why we need to get to the bottom of it, because these people are not thugs, okay? They're not thugs, and we don't just sleeping in tents in some kind of homeless shelter, or, I mean, or area or whatever. That's not who these people are. These are people that have positions. These are people that wear suits. These are people that have access to information. These, that have gotten millions and millions of dollars of taxpayer money for their evil deeds, okay? Like Joe Spencer, like Judge Sam Madrano, just for two, that she like the Mayella family, that as people are having to face the fact of their loved ones being shot down in cold blood, they're doing their wedding showers and getting married, and baby showers, and and while extorting millions of dollars, and then raising taxes, and then if you don't pay your taxes, then it's Joe Spencer's law firm that comes after you. It is this has to be addressed. And I know, the pain is there. The pain is there for me. You think I like doing this? I don't like doing this at all. Um, but it has to be done. And like Mary, like Mother Mary, which is my middle name, Mary's my middle name. Um, she said, "Do to me like you say. I'm your servant, right? If that's what you want me to do, that's what I'll do." And it was tough. It was tough for her. Um, I can't even imagine. Think about all the babies that were killed just trying to kill baby Jesus, right? So, yeah. So we have to absolutely be inconvenienced. Our lives have to be, uh, you know, um, not what we want them to be, so that we can get the answers to this, get accountability for this, because the crime, the evil will just grow if we don't address it. Okay? It just will grow, and it'll get more brazen, and more people will get hurt. And this Walmart case, and those that, because they're in the DA's office, because, you know, the word that I'm getting is that uh, Nieto is the most corrupt FBI agent, and Sam Madrano the most corrupt um, judge in El Paso history ever. And Nieto just really, really corrupt. And you have to remember what that means. When I hear that, when we hear that, our family, we like, it's like, oh, because his wife works in intelligence on Fort Bliss. This is a national security threat. Okay. And this whole connections with Bugado and his family and his extended family, it just makes you shiver, because it's a national security threat. And so this all has to be addressed. And don't forget what I started out with, that our service members are being targeted. That means our volunteer sons and daughters, when they, and with Richard, you can, I wish you could hear Richard's voice when he um, when we were talking to him on the phone, you could hear his voice in the letter that he wrote his grandparents, Omi and Opie. You could hear him in his excitement. You can see Asia Graham's excitement in the video. That video plays in my mind all the time. Every time I think of her, I play that video in my mind that I watched her so excited. So you have these young people coming in, 17, 18 years old, um, and they want to serve, right? And they're looking for mentors and everything, and they're being targeted to be compromised, to be ruined. And I've heard so one story after the next of people being ruined physically, being physically assaulted, physically, and then mentally. And that just is not from wars. This is from the leadership targeting our young sons and daughters that are under their watch so that they can compromise them, so that they can do their criminal activity with impunity without so many whistleblowers. And without so many whistleblowers, right? They don't want a lot of Richard Hallidays or Vanessa Guillen's. And, and Vanessa Guillen was absolutely a whistleblower. So, they don't want too many Austin Hawks, right? They don't want too many of them. Um, and And so this is really important for us to be inconvenienced a little bit. So share our site, share our post, share the information that we have. And we really, really appreciate it because it is this is a government that is ran by the people, for the people, and of the people. And so that's why there's so much money. Think about it, over a billion, over way over $1 billion, for the Harris campaign. And then she goes to the Met Gala, right? She goes to the Met Gala. Oh gosh, they're just so out of touch. They're just so evil. But for an election, right? Over $1 billion. Veronica Escobar blew over $1 billion. $1 billion blew it on twerking and stuff like that. And of course, to go to the gala, so they do spend a lot to control the minds, the votes of the people, because we are a government of the people, by the people, for the people. And so all your sharing, all your communication, and if you really want to be inconvenienced a little bit for the good of our country, for the good of our children, for the good of our military, for the good of even Mexico and the world, think about a strong U.S. military that has esprit de corps and a Medal of Honor ethos, what that would do to the world, because everything we do, because we are such a huge economy, everything we do impacts the rest of the world. And so, if you do want to be inconvenienced for, making the world a better place to live, then you will write the likes of Tillis and tell him he's full of it. Um, what happened on Jason, and don't forget, Donna Martin contacted us the night before to tell us not to go, because she absolutely knew that there was going to be a mutiny, that this was a mutiny, a Fedsurrection. I would say a DOD, I would say a general, a four-star general, um, and Fed, I guess Fedsurrection is a good word that's going out there. But and we were there. We were gassed for saying the Lord's Prayer. This man beside me, I don't know what his name was, asked to use my my megaphone to say the Lord's Prayer. And I was like, of course you can. We were saying the Lord's Prayer. They didn't like that. And they started shooting the tear gas at us. Um, the people were such amazing people there. And I would call them out if they weren't, but they were such amazing people, that they organized very quickly to bring us down low to the ground, all holding hands, like, and walking out of the tear gas and being calm and everything and not trampling one another, because we had people in wheelchairs and children in strollers and elderly people. And so, yeah, so we got out of that tear gas without panicking, because of some really wonderful, wonderful men. I have to say, wonderful men. Um, but there were bad people there too, and Donna Martin knew this. Donna Martin knew they were trying to start trouble. They were starting to. They really wanted to do some harm, and it's disgusting. She just needs to be held for treason. Yeah, it's just really, so, when you get this kind of deep state nonsense, evil, obstruction and interference, so that they can go to the Met Gala. Then we need to start writing letters, right? We need to, not on our blood, not on our sweat, not on our dime. We need to start writing the letters. And so, for us, and losing our son to this, that had aspirations, he had a lot of aspirations. Um, and it's so unjust. It's so unjust. So we have, a lot of skin in the game, so to speak. Um, but there were a lot of families that were hurt by all of this. And Richard's case and what they did to him is absolutely intertwined. Same people, because the whole purpose of the Walmart mass shooting was to uh, divert attention from the audits, the investigations that President Trump was doing. And of course, Richard was corroborating the criminal trafficking on Fort Bliss, and that's same people, um, on both, uh, and they had a lot to lose, and so they had to silence the whistleblowers, and they had to divert attention. And so it's very clear in the evidence, not me. This is not me saying this, otherwise, I would have said it 4 years ago. But this is evidence confirms, and we have over 20,000 hours. 20,000 hours, and I think it's a bit more if we really combine other people. 20,000 hours of investigative, um, searching in this whole, and documenting, organizing, documenting, creating um, public awareness and everything. And we are reaching millions, and so we really appreciate everything, everything, because um, we couldn't do any of this without you. So thank you so much. Thank you for being inconvenienced by listening to this podcast, and I hope that you absolutely share and join us in this pursuit for justice. Um, Thank you so much. God bless you, and thank you, Anicia, for coming on with your prayers and love. Good night.